The Mayfield Clinic by Dr. Nestor is a multi-service medical aesthetic centre of excellence where patient care is at the forefront. We're doctor-led. So Dr. Nestor himself, he was an orthopaedic surgeon for a long time before he turned his hand to aesthetics. He ran a much smaller clinic for a while in a different town. Left that, came and started in Edinburgh, and then we grew arms and legs. We got bigger and bigger. When we started, we were a team of 4. I managed a team of 17.
What were some of the main challenges your team faced before?
In terms of the payment sides of things, for me, from a business side of it, I'm interested in rates. I'm interested in what the charges are going to be, what the loss is for the clinic, what's going to eat into our profit margin per each transaction. From a front of house side of it, I think the ability to have the support if something goes wrong. At the end of the day, the payment system goes, everything goes. The retention side, we've always been very much, we leave the ball in the patient's court. Nestor wants to give the education, the information. He never wants to pressure anyone. The amount of times that we tell people no and we turn people away, they come for consultations asking for a service. And Nestor will very quickly tell them that, no, it's not appropriate for you. So we've been very much, this is the patient's decision, which is fine. And we want to keep that, but we're also a business. There needs to be more follow-up. And to be fair, that's a it's a customer service thing as well. Life gets in the way, you forget about things. The amount of times that I do that, I forget. I go, oh, I'll do it later, and then completely forget. So I think that we've never had that mentality. And because we've never had that mentality, Nestor's a very strong leader. That influences me. We've never then influenced the team to do that either. We don't hire salespeople. And I think that we actually lose a lot. And I think that a lot of business, I also think that the patients don't get that full service because of that, because we're too scared to feel like we're pressurizing. Actually, I think the patients would be much more appreciative if we were to phone them up and give them more information. But I don't know if that's a very British thing. I'm very apologetic and nervous.
So you've been using Coherent now for both payments and recall services. What impacts have you seen in those areas?
The support on the card terminal service side of things and the payment side has been great. We used to use GoCardless for our direct debits. We brought all of that into Coherent. We used to use various other programs that we've now brought it all into Coherent. We've transferred into their systems. And that's because trust, I suppose, builds when you work with someone for a long time. The impact of that has meant seamlessness throughout the whole journey because we now have one dashboard, the simplicity of it. It's very simple, very easy to understand, especially for onboarding new staff members. It's very easy from a patient side of things as well, being able to use your payment links, sending things, text, all of that jazz. Also, I find that the support element is huge. If there's a problem, they're always, no matter what, at the other side of the phone. I remember emailing Natalie once and she actually replied to me saying, I'm not sure if you're on mat leave yet. And she replied to me saying, oh, I had to take a break this morning. I was like, you're crazy. And she was like, oh, they don't do anything right now. They just sleep. She was sitting in the hospital bed, replying to me. I was like, what? It's that they're so passionate about what they do. And I think that really carries through in the service that they give. From the retention side, it's very new. We've only been doing it for a few weeks. But I know that within, I think about 3 weeks, we've had 11 new patients put back in, I believe. I think we're actually due doing a data call quite soon. But we've had, I think about £3,000 come back in from value of appointments coming to the clinic, or future appointments that are now booked, which is huge. And you're looking at a kind of return on investment of about 4 to 5% of what our monthly fees are. So that's huge. I've been trying to sell this service to Nestor for a long time. I have been waving the flag to do this for a long time because I think that we get so caught up in, as I said, doing it ways that have already been done. This is new, this is fresh. In a world where AI is taking over, I think having that personal touch of having an actual human being at the other end of the phone is a game changer. Our service is so focused on learning about the patient and building relationships with the patient. We're so much focused on, once you're a patient with ours, you're a patient with us for life. It doesn't matter what your spend is. Do you need help? We're there. We're at the other end of the phone. We're here for all the moments. We're here for the engagements, the births, the divorces, the happy times, the sad times. We're there throughout. And I think you can't do that with a computer. You can't be there for somebody with an AI system. So having that support from yourself is huge. And knowing someone is going to learn the values of the clinic with emotional intelligence as opposed to artificial intelligence, I think is massive.
How has using Coherent changed the experience for your patients and teams? You spoke about the human touch and the support.
Yeah, hugely so. I think that It's giving the patient a way to give feedback that potentially we've never had before. To be able to, it's all very well leaving a Google review, but I think actually speaking to somebody and being able to voice your opinions on something, whether they be positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Obviously the one that's positive, but any feedback is feedback that you can use to change and get better, whether it's good or bad. So I think that having that's been huge for our patients. It's giving them that outlet to do that, which is huge because we can learn from that massively. And I think that we've had people rebooking, so it's obviously they're enjoying having that reach out, that personal touch, that check-in. We just don't have the manpower to do that in clinic, and I don't think we have the types of roles of doing that in clinic. I think, yeah, it's a very specific type of role, which I think is what makes Coherent's retention service makes that role very accessible without having a full-time employee, which is a massive cost.
And how has the experience in terms of integrating Coherent solutions been for your day-to-day?
Very easy. Very easy. Yeah, integrating the Coherent solutions into the day-to-day runs of the clinic is very easy. The dashboards are simple, the interfaces are simple, the way to use it is simple. It's very easy to manage, it's very easy to use, and I think the team are very reactive. So if anything does go wrong, not that it does often, but if it does, it gets fixed very quickly. It's not a case of, oh, we'll get back to you within 3 to 5. It's fixed there and then. So hugely, very easy, and it's very easy for new people to come in and use. It's very easy for me to use, and I never sit on the front now. So if I ever have to cover any time, it's very easy for me to pick up and work out what I'm doing, which is good.
That's great. Is there anything that has surprised you at all about working with Coherent that you weren't expecting?
How much I've learned out with what Coherent offer. I genuinely would go to Jared, Natalie for advice on other business decisions out with the payment solutions, out with the retention. I think that they have real-time experience. Jared obviously running the business in the past, and I think that they're very up to date with what's going on, current trends of what's happening in the world of business within healthcare particularly. And yeah, I think that's what surprised me. It's not been just your car terminal people, you don't expect you're then going to go and ask them for advice on issues within teams. I don't know anything really, or just on, there was a big marketing, potential SEO management that we were going to go down the route of, and Jared was one of the first people I phoned to ask what he thought of it. And we respected his advice, yeah. No, it's good, it's the relationship building, I think.